Good afternoon, live from Toronto on the GBKM network. This is the Chat Up Show, the show where we catch you up with the chat up of our weekly headlines. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloyde, and I hope that you are ready to chat it up with me today. Now, as always, you know you can keep up with the GBKM network in various ways. You can continue to listen and watch live 24/7 at www.gbkm.fm or www.gbkm.tv, where you can also check out any past shows you may have missed. You can like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. You can check out our breaking news tab, check out our upcoming shows so you don't miss any shows. You can learn more about our on-air personalities, all of our radio show hosts right here on the GBKM network, and so much more. You can do all of that that's available on our website, on our app as well, that is free and available to download right now for iOS and Android devices. Again, our app is free and available to download right now for iOS and Android devices. Now, the really good perk about getting this app is you get notified every single time we go live. So whether it is a new movie showing or if it's a show that you don't want to miss out on, you will receive that notification that we've gone live, so you won't miss out. But in case you do, as you know, there is the past shows tab that you can check out and catch up on any past shows you may have missed. You can check out our upcoming show schedule as well. You can also like, share, comment, and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Now, speaking of subscribe, you can also continue to watch on our YouTube at GBKM Network, where you can subscribe as well, like, share, comment, join in the conversation, as well as on Facebook too at GBKM Network as well. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GBKM Network to keep up to date with any news and upcoming shows and details going on right here at the network. So there you have it. Make sure you keep up with us so you won't be missing out. Now, it is definitely heating up here in Toronto as summer is just around the corner, and I, for one, am so excited to get rid of the layers. I'm so happy I don't have to see snow in a while. It feels good, though, because it is Toronto. I will not hold my breath because, you know, it could be a little surprising sometimes, though. Snow getting a little closer to June just doesn't seem realistic, but you never know. Be prepared for anything. But it feels good to say goodbye to those layers and to welcome this new season, especially with the past weekend. We had our first long weekend of the season. As you know, this is the time that we have a long weekend pretty much every single month until Labor Day, which is quite literally the best thing you can have in summer. Every month you have a guaranteed long weekend. Blessed. Now, of course, there is the somber feeling that it's not going to feel like Toronto summer as it normally does, because, you know, we are still in the thick of this pandemic, still going through it, and we know our usual summer activities have officially been canceled right here in Toronto. No more C&E, no more Carabana, they're all canceled, and though, you know, it's sad, just like last year they were canceled, but it's fine, because the sun is out. And that's something to look forward to and be positive about. It's all over the globe. It's getting warmer, sun, heat, better feeling, better attitude, better everything. Even though we are in a pandemic, that is like literally the brighter side of things because the sun is out, and I will not stop saying that. Because the sun is out, I think you should go out and get some sun. So right after the show, I am gonna let you go out and take a walk, do what you need to do, just be in the sun, bask in the rays of sunlight. It may be raining a little bit here earlier in the day, but we're gonna hope the sun does come out so you can bask in the sunshine a little bit today. It feels good, and I will be explaining a little bit more about why it feels so good a little later on in the show. But of course, we have some updates regarding our current pandemic situation here in Ontario. Now, we do know that our lockdown has been, you know, extended until about June 14th. Ideally, we were supposed to be eased off our restrictions of lockdown about like a week ago, but that's okay, that's fine. You know, we have something to look forward to in the future. Of course, this June 14th lockdown restriction easing and reopening is conditional, and it's based on vaccination rates and continued decline in certain other indicators such as daily case counts and hospitalization numbers, as you know, because we don't want to overwhelm our ICU beds and you know, facilities in the province. We know that's been an issue, especially in hotspot areas for the whole pandemic. So of course, as usual, this lockdown restriction ease is based on whether we see a decrease in cases, daily cases, weekly cases, and we see less people being hospitalized, and we're seeing more of the population being vaccinated. So those are the things that, our public health sectors will be looking out for as we start moving into the proposed next stage of reopening. And it's so exciting to say this because we have been in lockdown for such a long time. Honestly, was kind of thinking this day might not come, but we're really looking forward. So we know we're not being let out, we're going to be let out in the next couple of weeks. What's next? Right now, what we do know is that Ontario has reported 1,446 new cases as of Monday. And the province obviously did not release the numbers on Monday because it was a holiday, but has released them now, saying that we had 1,446 cases in the province. Now, the numbers reported over the past 2 days have also continued on a downward trend of infections across the province. So that is something that we can look forward to, that we're starting to see less and less daily cases, which is one of the indicators that we needed to see to be able to, get closer to reopening. And there is a new reopening plan that I'm going to dive into really quickly. But before we get into that, we're also going to be talking about vaccine rollout as it's continuing. And now it's been announced that children 12 and over can now also book their own vaccine as well. Of course, this is the Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccines via the provincial online services or the phone or participating pharmacies. As we know, more pharmacies across the province are now also opting to give out vaccines, just to really get as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible. This is all part of the government's plan to ensure that we're vaccinating quickly. As you know, it's been heavily criticized. The original vaccine rollout or the original vaccine plan has been heavily criticized, but we're starting to see it kind of pick up speed a little bit. We're seeing more people in hotspots, especially adults over the age of 18 now getting their first dose. So yes, we're staying positive. Remember, it's almost summer, so summer makes everything feel nice. We're staying positive. We're seeing some positive changes happening in regards to our condition here in Ontario. But, at the end of the day, we're still staying the course. Now, of course, we're still under a stay-at-home order, but it's always good news when the government explains what their plan is to reopen, because it feels like, we're getting closer to the possibility of reopening again. Now, Chief Medical Officer of Health and medical experts are obviously all about a safe and careful reopening of Ontario, and they found, along with the governments, that the past system that we were using, the color-coordinated system of reopening, is going to be left behind, something that we've been using since about the fall, October, November of last year. Now we're opting for a new three-stage plan. Now, this three-stage plan obviously comes after careful consideration about what is going to be the safest way for us to reopen, what's the most makes sense in logistically speaking for us to open based on vaccination of the population and obviously the different sectors that will be opening, meaning most outdoor stuff will probably open more faster or earlier than our indoor gatherings, whatnot. So we are going to take a look at this graphic here that shows and explains a little bit more about what this reopening plan kind of looks like. So here is what we have, the proposed roadmap to reopening from the Ontario government. So let's break down this graphic here. So step one is an initial focus on resuming outdoor activities with smaller crowds where the risk of transmission is lower, and that will happen when at least 60% of adults have at least one dose. And as you see there, it says outdoors first with limited, well-managed crowding and permitting restricted retail. So we'll probably start seeing a little bit more non-essential retailers opening. We're going to have larger outdoor gatherings for up to 10 people. Right now we're at 5. There can be outdoor dining for up to 4 people per table. So again, this is when we have at least 60% of adults with one dose across the province. We now know actually in Toronto, which is a hotspot area, there's about over 65% of adults over the age of 18 who have received at least one dose of that vaccine. So, June 14th really isn't that long away, and it seems that we might actually be able to reach this goal, considering the province's goal to actually have most adults vaccinated with at least one dose by the end of this month was at least 65% of those adults. So we're hoping that this first stage really does come quickly and they don't pull that emergency brake again, because that's happened like three, who's counting, but we kind of lost track of times, how many times we've been like ejected back into a lockdown because of that emergency brake. So we're hoping that we're going to continue on seeing the downward trends in daily cases. We're going to see more people being vaccinated as the possibility for vaccinations has opened up a lot more now. I mean, 12 and over are now able to book online to get their vaccine. So back to our 60% stage one of the reopening. We'll probably see some day camps, campsites and campgrounds, more parks, outdoor pools, splash pads and wading pools. Now, a lot of this is like outdoor recreational activities that people were feeling that, you know, it's getting warmer. We've been kind of cooped up inside for a good portion of the winter. Let us have a little bit of something so that, you know, we can breathe fresh air, we can do something that doesn't involve us being indoors, it's warm again. Initially, the province hadn't really talked about, you know, having a plan to ease up on the restrictions regarding outdoor recreational activities during this portion of our lockdown right now, as you know. Premier Ford has come back and said that, you know, we will see some golf courses, maybe basketball, tennis courts slowly opening up this week just to allow for a little bit more of ease as we slowly ease into this first stage of reopening. So in these next few days, you might see more people, you know, out and about on basketball courts, tennis courts, golf courses, doing their daily exercise, if you will, for mental health. It's important. It's important to be able to get out and get some sun. I'm going to keep saying that all through this show because it's important to get sunshine. That vitamin D is important. But anyway, continuing on with this new roadmap to reopening. Now moving on to step 2, which further expanding outdoor activities and resuming limited indoor services. Now this would happen when 70% of adults with one dose and 20% of adults are fully vaccinated in the province. Now before we actually do move on from step 1 to step 2, there's going to be about a 21-day period. So that's like that 3-week period. You know how like we've been kind of working within like 2 or 4 weeks? Now it's going to be about a 3-week period between each phase of reopening, just to allow for some time, some breathing room, if you will. So step 2, 70% with one dose, 20% fully vaccinated. So I'm sure a lot of you guys will be tracking those vaccination numbers, trying to see when, you know, we're hopefully going to reopen again. But remember that this is also still in tandem with we're seeing a downward trend in daily cases, and there's still the continued decline in daily cases. We're not seeing as many hospitalizations, no more overloading the ICU, and there's a downward trend in the rates of positivity across the province. So that's what we're still looking for, while on top of also checking out how vaccinated the public is, which is also important. But step 2, you know, outdoor gatherings of up to 25 people. So we're going to be able to socialize with more people. So exciting. Probably if we're going to go with the June 14th reopening with step 1, we're probably not going to see this until about the end of June, early July anyway. But, you know, Canada Day, hey, maybe we can actually have some sort of celebrations again this year. Now continuing in step 2, small indoor gatherings for up to 5 people as well. Outdoor dining for up to 6 people per table. Essential retail at a 50% capacity. Non-essential retail at a capacity of 25%. So then, you know, we'll start seeing more stores being able to, you know, reopen, and it won't be too, like, we'll have more people just allowed to do what they want to do, be out. Personal care services where face coverings can be worn at all times will be reopening during this time. So that's probably the hair salons, groomings of that nature, nails, folks that have been wanting to get manicures, pedicures, all of that stuff. Don't worry, you can get yourself prepped and ready during the step 2 of the roadmap to reopening in Ontario. Amusement parks and water parks, something that a lot of us have kind of, you know, when will that ever happen again? Will we ever be able to see that? The province is saying that possibly in the reopening phase 2 of this new plan, we will be able to start seeing those open up again, obviously with a limited capacity, of course, and, you know, keep wearing face masks and coverings. And of course, just to be on the safe side, physical distancing you know. Then we'll also possibly be seeing outdoor county fairs and rural exhibitions happening. Of course, we still know that CNE is still canceled and Caravana is still canceled just because timing-wise, like having to get everything organized in time, they wouldn't have had enough time. But, you know, other smaller ones are probably going to still be opening. Outdoor sports leagues and events, outdoor cinemas, performing arts, live music, events, and attractions. Now, reading this, it may seem a little too good to be true because it's like this plan, I mean, in the next couple of months, we've been on lockdown for so long. Will we actually be able to see this moving along and we actually get to the green stage of it, which is the last phase of reopening? That's what we're hoping for, at least by September, which honestly, the plan for the government was to have at least half of the population fully vaccinated, 18 years and over, by September. So we're hoping that by that time, things would have sorted out. And by that time, what will we see? Well, in the step 3 of our new reopening plan, of course, expanding indoor settings, access to indoor settings with restrictions, of course, with capacity and physical distancing. There will be a larger number of people where in areas where face coverings may not possibly be worn or can't always be worn. So that is a possibility with more people vaccinated. We're hoping that by this time there will be 70 to 80% of adults with 1 dose and 25% fully vaccinated by the time we are at step 3. You know, we'll have indoor dining, essential and non-essential retail will be open with limited capacity, of course, but still a little freer, larger indoor religious services, rites and ceremony gatherings, just basically what we've been waiting for like the last year and a half is what it feels like. Maybe the math is a little off there, but it's been a while. It's been a while, but this is what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get through these 3 steps, 21 days within each other, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. In 9 weeks, hopefully we'll be able to fully reopening. That is best case scenario, of course. But as I say, always staying positive. Now, I just want to reiterate that, of course, step 1, they want at least 60% of adults with 1 dose. Step 2, 70% of adults with 1 dose. And step 3, 70 to 80% of adults with 1 dose and 25% fully vaccinated. So those are some of the markers that we're going to be looking out for. But for now, we're looking towards June 14th, okay? That is our benchmark date for now, is June 14th, when we would hopefully move into step 1, when these restrictions will be a little more loose and ease up a little bit more. So there we have it. Now, for where we are currently right now, this is just for the future, where we're at currently in the lockdown right now in Ontario, what we've been doing for the last 6 months, it seems, since October, November around. We're obviously going to be on lockdown for the next couple of weeks, but there have been some restrictions lifted, as I mentioned before, regarding outdoor recreational activities. Now, Premier Ford has said in previous press conferences that while, quote, while we are seeing positive trends as a result of the public health measures put in place, we cannot afford to let up yet. We must stay vigilant to ensure our ICU numbers stay down and our hospital capacity is protected. Now, on May 12th, actually, the Ontario Medical Association said its doctors support the province extending the lockdown, but added that some outdoor recreational activities should open in the meantime to help improve mental health and physical health during this time of lockdown. Initially, our government kind of said, yeah. We'll think about that for June 2nd, where our premier said, and I quote, by June 2nd, so long as we stay the course, we will be able to reopen outdoor recreation. And by then, we will provide more details on our plan to carefully and safely begin to reopen the province in the days and weeks to follow. So that was the initial response, you know, because initially we were supposed to reopen June 2nd, and then they said, nah, let's push that back a little bit to June 14th. So essentially our premier was saying that, you know, when it's time to reopen, we'll look back and see what we can possibly open. I mean, now we know our new roadmap to reopening. There will be some more potential for larger outdoor gatherings, more outdoor recreational activities will be open and allowed to function. But folks weren't having that. They were saying, no, right now you've had us under lockdown for so long. This isn't going to cut it. Like, I mean, I'm supposed to wait until June now again. I was supposed to only wait until April the last time. And then now we're in May and we're still in lockdown. And then we got to wait until June. So the government heard and said, okay, hear you, heard. And now they have allowed for some outdoor recreational activities. So what is open right now? The open amenities are parks and beaches. So for those of you who like a nice stroll in the park, you can continue to do that. Playgrounds are open. As we know, previously people had fought back with the government as well regarding playgrounds, that kids need to be able to have some sort of, breathing space and be able to do something that they enjoy, even though they're trying to stay safe. So playgrounds are still open. Obviously, public washrooms, dog off-leash areas, benches in parks or recreational areas, and now recently added golf courses, sports courts and fields, including basketball, tennis courts, soccer fields, and baseball, or even lawn bowling greens. Skate parks as well have now also been added to the list of amenities that have been opened now, because people spoke up and they said that, listen, our mental health matters, our physical health matters. You've closed gyms, you've closed indoor recreational activity spaces. Outdoor, we should be able to safely physically distance while also still, doing things that give us the rush of endorphins that we need to feel happy and feel like our moods to elevate after a rather gloomy winter. The sun is out now, we're gonna be getting our vitamin D, allow us this space. So the government has said yes to this, but as of right now, what is not open to the public and should probably not be used are picnic tables and shelters. Outdoor fitness classes still are not permitted right now. Of course, the indoor gatherings are not permitted. Outdoor gatherings, of course, limited to weddings with 10 people, funerals or other religious services, still not allowed. Traveling outside of the province is not permitted. Sorry for those who are trying to, get a road trip. We know that those borders have been closed for a bit, especially with Quebec. That border has been closed since April. So that is still not allowed. But once we move into step one, those restrictions you will see will begin to ease up a little more. I know it feels like the Twilight Zone. I feel like we've been talking about this for so long. These are the same restrictions that we've been hearing about and droning about. But I'm going to add a little spin to it for today, okay? I've been giving a lot of updates about, what we can't do, what doesn't feel good. But what I'm going to do now, right after we go on a quick break, is give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can, elevate your mood, even if you are on lockdown. Enjoy the sun while it's out. Make sure that you're doing things that make you feel good, safely, and I'm gonna give you the reasons why you should be doing these things for your health, okay? So stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Not your regular show. It is an interactive section powered by the masses.
Why you go to Nigeria? You wake up, you go come. Ask yourself now. I don't go to Nigeria.
Where we discuss issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. Slices of humor to keep you entertained and thrilled. We are the GPKM Street Talk Team. This is not.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat Up Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Eloidy, and today we're diving into Ontario's new reopening plan. Before we went on the break, I dissected essentially the three-step plan that the government has put out now. We're ditching the old color-coordinated system behind, and now we're looking towards this new plan that focuses more on the percentage of vaccinated population within the province, as well, of course, as seeing the downward trend of daily cases, number of ICU beds, and number of positive cases across the province will still be monitored as we go into the next stages of reopening. Again, we're looking at June 14th as the day that we're hoping lockdown restrictions will be eased. Now, You've been stuck at home for months and you feel like you've run out of ways to fill your days. Don't worry. I think a lot of us have been there. We're kind of getting into a new routine that feels like a rut, and you're stuck on the hamster wheel of waking up, Zoom meetings, work, doing maybe like cleaning up around the house, and then try to wind down and decompress and try not to be sad by the constant news and updates of what's going on around the world right now. So, what I'm going to do for you today is show you and tell you the different ways you can, fill your days, feel like you have something new to look forward to, feel like you can get excited about something, feel alive again, try something new that you may not have tried before, and why this will really help you. So my first suggestion is for those of you who may be going on your daily walks alone, and it's starting to get a little boring, and you're like, I don't have anyone that I could walk with, that I feel safe to walk with. How about you go on a solo buddy walk? Now, what a solo buddy walk is you go on a solo walk, but you're talking on the phone with a buddy. Now, you can either video chat or you can voice call, whatever floats your boat. But as long as you have someone there that's doing the same activity as you, so now you have an accountability partner, if that's something that you need, someone that's going to get you out and about, and you don't have that person that lives with you readily, or your person is, you're separated by distance because the borders have been closed and travel restrictions have been put in place. How about you make it a solo buddy date? So you go on a walk, you have a conversation, so it feels like you're walking with someone because you're both literally doing the same thing. It's just you're doing it safely and with a good distance. Now, this allows you to socialize a little bit. Of course, it's not the physical contact that a lot of us are missing, hugging up on people, being able to be around folks that we love. But this is probably the next best alternative that is really a simple hack or trick or tip that you can use to kind of spice up something as mundane as walking. Like, we've been walking a lot. Like, that's really all we can do right now. So call a friend while you're on your walk, and you can make it a plan that you both, do these walks daily or weekly, however frequently as you can within your schedule of right now working from home or whatever it is a lot of y'all are doing, safely of course. And it will be fun. It's a fun new way to socialize while being safe and getting your exercise. You can even explore new areas of your neighborhood, and you have someone on the phone who knows where you are, who knows what you're doing, so that's kind of like a safety thing too. So if you do get lost, at least you have someone on the phone that can somewhat track your whereabouts and, help you find safety. Try out new trails and parks around the city. They're now reopening up, and you're outside getting some sunshine, getting sun. Look at that, positivity. So a solo buddy walk, you could try that out as a new way to spice up your daily walk. The second way you could spice up your day-to-day mundane activities is maybe during the early days of the pandemic, you picked up a hobby and it was so new and so exciting, or it was something that you did when you were a kid and the nostalgia just brought you back and filled you with joy. And then as the days went on, you kind of forgot about it. Well, maybe this is a sign that you should pick that hobby up again. Maybe it's something that really does bring you a lot of joy and that you've been missing and that you want to bring back again. Maybe it's sewing or drawing or art or creating things. Anything can be a hobby these days. Maybe you can go pick it up again, start that up fresh, or start something completely new, something outside of your comfort zone. Getting outside of your comfort zone can help shake things up a little bit. If you feel that you're kind of stuck in a routine and you're not really sure, like every day is like blending into one, you don't remember what you ate for Tuesday because you thought that it was a Thursday. Stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying a new hobby that you've been wanting to try for some time, but maybe you felt that you didn't have the time or the patience or the energy. Now, if you're just spending time at home and you really are looking for ways to fill up your days, there it is. There is your sign to pick up that hobby you've been waiting for. Okay, reading a book that's been collecting dust on your bookcase or your nightstand, pick that book back up, start reading it again. Maybe you'll be re-inspired by your love of reading and writing, and that will inspire something new in your life that will help you fill the days and bring you joy. Spark joy. Now that brings me to the third one. Speaking of sparking joy, everything in your home that does not spark joy, as Marie Kondo has said, get rid of it. If you haven't done your spring cleaning right now or at all, and it's something that is always on the to-do list, but for whatever reason you keep forgetting, this is a great time to do it. Clean those windows that you keep forgetting about. clean out those Christmas decorations that you always say that you will get to, but you never do. Like look through all those, those old lights, those old decorations, like the tinsel that's kind of ripped apart, those old decorations that are so cute and nostalgic, but like they're torn and tattered looking and you just can't seem to part ways. If it still sparks joy, sure, you can keep it as a memento. But if it doesn't, according to Marie Kondo's philosophy of organizing your life, if it doesn't spark joy, you get rid of it. Either you toss it in the trash or you donate it or sell it, have a garage sale. I don't really know if people are really doing garage sales right now in the middle of a pandemic, but donation bins are still open across town. Of course, if it is full, wait another day until it's empty and then come back with your stuff. Don't just leave it strewn across the floor. But yeah, spring cleaning is a really great way to clear your headspace. It's kind of mindless work. It's a mindless activity a lot of the time. If you're just going through some old stuff that you know that this is some junk that I've needed to get rid of, it'll help, fill up the days. And once it's done, you can look back and look at all of the stuff that you've cleaned. And then what you can do is replace it like every other normal adult does when they get rid of things. You go shopping. Maybe you want to spruce up a corner of your apartment or corner of your house and you want to do some new interior design and decorating, but it's so cluttered with mess because you haven't gotten around to it. Maybe that's a project or activity that you can take up right now if you're thinking of ways to, get out of the rut of lockdown that we're in. Now, 4. If you can safely sit outside for like 30 minutes, do it. But of course, always remember to wear SPF, okay? Always stay protected. One reason sitting outside for just those 30 minutes can really help boost your vitamin D levels, which help boost your immune system. A lot of people have been talking about, I'm gonna drink all of the vitamin C, I'm gonna, drink all the ginger and the garlic teas and make sure that my immune system is all the way top notch. Well, there's natural immune system booster, and that is the sun. So if you can safely sit outside, enjoy the sun as much as you can, get that nice fresh air, maybe work on your tan a little bit, whatever floats your boat, do it. 30 minutes, wear your SPF, read a book, have a drink, whatever you can to just get yourself out in the sun for some time, just to feel it on your skin. Really, really does have major benefits. So not only does it boost your vitamin D, the sunlight also helps the brain release serotonin, which can boost the mood and it can help you feel calm. So if you're starting to feel a little agitated, a lot of people say like go for a walk. Literally just sit outside for a bit. Sit outside, pray, meditate, read, whatever helps calm you, do breathing exercises, do it out in the sun. That added boost of vitamin D will really take you a long way. And I'm sure this isn't the first time you've ever heard about how beneficial sunlight is to our health, mental and physical. But it really is, and I will continue reiterating it. Now that it's out, and considering we live in an area of the world where, we only get a limited amount of time where we can really sit outside and enjoy the sun, why not enjoy it as much as you can right now? Get the natural stuff instead of having to, take the supplements. You could just stand outside, sit outside for 30 minutes and, get those serotonin levels back up, help calm you down, boost the mood. It also can help you get better sleep as well, because sunlight can help regulate your circadian rhythm, which essentially regulates our sleep schedule. So it knows when we feel tired, we go to bed and we sleep regularly, have a proper REM cycle, and then we wake up, we're feeling refreshed. It also helps regulate our appetites as well, so we're not constantly overeating. They say that's why when we are in hibernation in the winter, a lot of people tend to just sit and eat because our rhythm is completely thrown off by just the long nights, essentially. But now that we have more sunlight, it can help regulate our appetite, our sleep schedule, body temperature, hormone levels, alertness, your daily performance, your blood pressure, reaction time, so many things that you can get just from sitting out in the sunlight for 30 minutes a day. Start trying it today and see after 3 weeks what differences you may notice. You may notice that you're sleeping better at night. When the sun goes down, you actually start to feel tired and you actually do go to bed and you get sound sleep. And when the sun is up, you are up and you're not sleeping the day away. You feel more productive. You feel more alert when it's time to work and get things done. You're feeling more productive to actually tackle the day. Sunlight can do this for you. Of course, if you have the space for it, you can do this in your own backyard, on your balcony. If you do not, of course, the parks are open. Now the circles are back in Trinity Bellwood, Park again. The social distancing white circles that we saw from last summer, they're back again. So you can go to the public parks as well and spend your 30 minutes in the sun. It's just also a great way to get out of the house and do something instead of just sitting at a computer all day, sitting working, sitting talking to the same faces as well. Getting out of that lockdown rut. Again, if you have the space, do some exercise too while you're in the sun. Do some yoga, do some stretches. Stretches is really important for resting as well, but also just overall physical performance. So you can do your yoga and your stretching in the sun in the morning, start your day off right. You can jump rope, which is a great form of exercise, especially for cardiovascular health. It's really low maintenance. All you need is the jump rope and maybe a little space, a little area. Trying to figure out ways that, you can start exercising a little bit. Summer body goals, whatever you may have. Summer is right around the corner, so you're kind of like, I thought we were going to be on lockdown. Now I got to get it together. These are some things that can help you getting exercise out in the sun. This is why a lot of people were fighting the government for this opportunity, is because it's really important and it does have its benefits. Not only are you obviously getting the endorphins from working out, but you're also in the sun. I said I was going to keep saying this over and over. Sunlight makes me happy. I don't know if you've noticed, but summer makes me so happy. And I want to be able to share this positivity with a lot of you. So if just taking that first step is going out for 30 minutes a day, going for a walk, sitting in the sun, whatever you need to do for 30 minutes a day, honestly, do it. I can tell you from personal experience, it really does make all of the difference. It really does improve your mood. It really does improve your sleep. It really does improve with concentration and productivity. All of these things, it's scientifically proven to help and does have benefits, improving your immune system, boosting that as well. So if you can, those are some tips on how you can get out in the sun, enjoy the sunlight today, any day, every week. Even if we have to be, physically distanced, wear our mask, even if we can't socialize as much as we want to, as much as we can, we know that we're working towards that. So these are just some little things that you can do right now while we're still on lockdown. For those who are watching as well and still in lockdown, wherever you are in the world, too, these are some things that you can enjoy safely on your own, or even with your family as well. Make it a family activity where you guys do your morning stretches in the sunlight together. While the kids have Zoom classes or something, this is their PE for their day. Get out and do it together as a family. Just doing things in the sun together. It's always fun. Even though the normal activities that we usually have aren't available, these are some new things that you can start. And who knows, maybe it'll start a new tradition that you guys love. Now every year you're going to be the family that, does the bike ride trails or explores new trails across the province. Good stuff. Good stuff that this pandemic is bringing. Now, in some other good news, for those who are looking forward to getting vaccinated, just before we go today, I want to give an update about our vaccine rollout. As I've mentioned earlier, a lot of our reopening is, based on how much of the population is vaccinated. And now the government is really trying to get as much of the population vaccinated as quickly as possible, to the point that now vaccine eligibility is open for 12 and older. Children 12 and older, and adults, of course, 18 and over. That was open, where you can book online right now to get your vaccine. You could book at covid-19.ontario.ca/book-vaccine, where it will take you through the steps on how to book your vaccine. It's really simple. I'm actually going to talk to you a little bit about that. But what we do know about vaccine rollout in the province right now, as of Monday, is that more than 8.2 million doses of the COVID vaccine has been administered across the province since mid-December. So for about 5-6 months right now, we've gotten to 8.2 million doses of vaccines administered across the province, and at least 544,288 people have been fully vaccinated in the province. So we're slowly starting to see, some positives. We know at least 65% of Torontonians, adults over 18, have also received their first dose, and we know that Toronto is a hotspot for the province. So seeing more than half of the population already vaccinated with their first dose is a good sign that, things are going to start things are looking up. Things are looking easier. We're looking on the bright side or the sunny side of the street. All of the puns and the sayings for positivity, we're going to throw them all out here today. But yeah, so over half of the Toronto population has received their first dose. Of course, we know that the 2 doses are required and needed for full immunization. What we do also know is that the AstraZeneca vaccine has been halted again due to the worries of blood clots. It actually has been reported as of last week that there was a man in the province who was in his 40s who actually died after receiving the first dose of his AstraZeneca vaccine. A few weeks later had passed away. And though there are still some investigations around the official cause of his death, it has been reported that he did suffer from blood clots or vaccine-induced immune thrombocytopenia. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Or VITT for short. So it has been reported that this man who was in his 40s within the province had received his first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine and a few weeks later passed away and had suffered from blood clots at the time of his death. So what we do know now is that folks who are 40 and under will not be receiving the AstraZeneca vaccine, and the only vaccines available for us in the province are the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine currently. So that is just a quick little update regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, for those who are looking to book, and there was a lot of confusion regarding booking online, it seems to have been cleared up right now because, now that it's pretty much open for everybody, all you have to do is you have to put in your postal code, and you have to answer a couple questions about your health card if you have one. You can include that. Also, of course, your name. And then it gives you the option of whether you want to book the vaccine appointment either by phone, so you call into the phone service, or you can book at participating pharmacies. And when you go through that route, it takes you to the different pharmacies. All you have to put in is your postal code there again, and it lets you know which pharmacies in your area are giving the vaccine, that you can then either call them or book via their website to go get vaccinated. So, the province had received criticism in the past. I mean, we even had opposition deputy leader on the show here today, a few weeks ago, actually talking about how the vaccine rollout just doesn't feel to be as effective or efficient enough within the province. We're starting to see the province, the provincial government right now, and Premier Ford and Ford government really trying to, get to it, get there, so that we really do reach our goals. Because at the end of the day, the province does want at least 65% of adults to be fully vaccinated by September. So if you want to get to that point, you're going to need to allow those adults to, book. And of course, knowing that now that it's open to a wider range of people, of course, the provinces and public health sectors are urging folks to be patient as they're dealing with the new influx and rise in number of people demanding the vaccines. So it's going to take some time for the systems at the end of the day to kind of catch up with the demand for a lot of people. But all that really means is that a lot of people are really looking to get vaccinated. So if you are one of them and you still haven't gone to book your vaccine right now, at least if you're 18 and over, that for sure you can go on the website and book through there to get your vaccine. And there's still, of course, the hotspot locations still doing those vaccinations too. So all in all, what's really happening, what's next in our province right now is that we have this new reopening plan, the 3 steps based on how much of the population is vaccinated. Of course, that's also based on how many people really do want to get vaccinated. So if you are someone who wants to be vaccinated and you want to be part of us moving closer towards reopening, part of the population moving us towards, having less restrictions put in place and not being under lockdown for another 6 months, you can do that now. Again, the website to do that is at covid19.ontario.ca/book vaccine. Again, just to let you know, it's a really simple system. Put your postal code, your birth date and birth year. Check if you have your health card. If you do not, it does not matter. Do not worry. You can still get vaccinated. And then you can either book online through the phone or at a participating pharmacy near you. So it's all simple. It's a lot of updates happening, but it's a lot of positive updates because it means that, things are happening. We're seeing that downward trend, of daily cases, and we're hoping that continues so that we get a step closer to the reopening plan again. If we could just take a look at that first step in the new stage of the reopening plan, we remember that more outdoor gatherings will be allowed, outdoor dining. That's one thing that a lot of people have been really excited about. You know, it's been a while since folks have been able to eat at a restaurant. So patio season is almost upon us. We're looking at June 14th, hopefully, is when we start to see those patios start to open up again, so we can start socializing. Of course, there is the limitation and the restriction of 4 people to a table. So it's not like we can be going out in large groups, you know, of course. Still smaller gatherings as we've been doing before, just a little bit more than we've had in the last few months. So yeah, patio season is exciting. More outdoor recreational activities as well within that first stage of the reopening, the 3-step reopening, and remembering that at least 60 to 65% of the adult population has received 1 dose. So those are the key factors that we're holding on to, looking forward to. I know. It's been many months. It's been many months of the same conversation. It's been many months of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And though it's been stressful, it's been tiring, and it's affected a lot of people in so many different ways, we know that we are getting towards a time where we can somewhat start to see a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, it's starting to make sense. It's starting to look clear. Even across the globe now, we're starting to see more people being vaccinated, more restrictions easing, more traveling being allowed to restart again. So again, the 3 steps to getting the vaccine for those who are interested in booking. Now that we know that 18 and over are fully eligible to go book the vaccine, I even tried it out for myself and it works. You can go to the website. All you have to do is book your date and you get vaccinated. And if you had watched the discussion a couple weeks ago, we saw Chelsea receiving her first dose as well. It's a very quick, easy process for those who haven't already received their first dose. Very simple. You go in, they figure out like your identity, of course, just to, you know, so you know who you are. You get your first vaccine, you wait the 15 to 20 minute wait period to make sure that you're okay, you don't have any immediate reactions to the vaccine, and then you're on your way. And then you come back about 4 months later for your second dose, and then you will be fully immunized. So for those who are looking to book, you can go book now. For families also looking to book, we know that 12 or older by at least the end of this month will be able to receive their first doses as well. We also know that the AstraZeneca vaccine is not available, just following the reports of the first reported case and death in the province of a man in his 40s after receiving that first dose. But most of all, what we do know is that June 14th is right around the corner, and we are hoping that that is our first step to reopening in the province of Ontario, the province that feels like we have been put under lockdown and the key was thrown away. But no, they found that key and they're going to open us up back really quick. So hang in there, folks. I know it's been a while. It's been a long road. We're almost at the end. It's looking like a bright future and we're hopeful. And with that, I will let you go. That concludes our chat up for today. As always, it was so nice chatting it up with you today. I hope that you've been well informed and you will use that information as you will. For those, of course, reminder, if you want to go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated. If you do want to socialize, June 14th is the day that we're looking out for. Again, you know, you can keep up with the GBKM network in various ways. You can listen and watch live 24/7 at www.gbkm.tv or www.gbkm.fm. You can watch and comment, like, share, subscribe on Facebook and YouTube at GBKM Network. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter for updates regarding the network at GBKM Network. And you can follow me, your host, Elizabeth Lloydie, on Instagram and Twitter at TIS_Liz_O. And with that, I will see you at the same time, same place next week. Take care.
The bad news is that everyone is a potential victim. But the good news is that everyone is a potential solution. Sensitize the masses to sanitize. Keep a social distance and quarantine. Stop!
The coronavirus is sweeping over mankind.
Everybody must be alert. It's a global pandemic we can never take for granted.
Omulwadde wa corona temubuzanyisa.
is a matter of life we can never take for granted. Discipline and personal hygiene, and make sure you regularly wash your hands. Keep a distance from everyone. Report anything like a symptom. Serious fever is a symptom. Dry cough is a symptom. Walkway tamula is a symptom. Itchy eyes and flu is a symptom.
Kumo butabusiga twejemu batannalwala olago omwoyo gw'eggwanga olabira ku itale abasinga bafudde okubwewala kisingako obujjanjaba. The coronavirus is sweeping over mankind.
Everybody must be alert. It's a global pandemic we can never take for granted.
Obulwadde wa corona temubuzanyisa bange.
Kila muntu must be alert. It's a matter of life we can never take for granted.
The coronavirus is sweeping over mankind.
Everybody must be alert.
It is an interactive section powered by the masses.
You go to Nigeria, you wake up, you go come. Ask yourself now, I don't go to Nigeria.
Where we discuss issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. Slices of humor to keep you entertained and thrilled. We are the GPKM Street Talk Team.
And I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on is not to just impart certification knowledge, but the application of real-world tools.
Back in June 2017, I did the business analysis course at Top Run. I learned the basic and advanced skills and tools to be successful in business analysis fields.
My name is Karo, and I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on is not to just impart certification knowledge, but the application of real-world tools.
Back in June 2017, I did the business analysis course at Top Run. I learned the basic and advanced skills and tools to be successful in business analysis fields.
My name is Karo, and I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on